Welcome to Material Issues Live. It's Sunday, the fun day, and it's great to be alive. So hit subscribe, enjoy the vibe, right here on Material Issues. Welcome to Material Issues Live. It's Sunday, to be alive, so hit subscribe, enjoy the vibe, right here on Material Issues.
Well, good Sunday evening, late Sunday afternoon, late evening, early afternoon. Wherever the heck you are, it is Material Issues episode number 266. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here in a beautiful, sunny, perfect day, South Jersey, just outside of Philadelphia. And joining me as usual, he is right over here, the Brady Bunch style, my very good friend, president of the International Pop Overthrow Music Festival, Mr. David Bash. David, good late afternoon. How the heck are you?
I think I'll take you for a walk. I think I'll go for a walk outside. Now the sun's coming my way. Can you hear me now? Sorry.
When it's time.
That's my favorite Brady Bunch song. It's a Sunshine Day.
Oh, is that your okay? Let's talk about that real quick. That's your favorite Brady Bunch song?
Yeah.
You know what?
Like you're surprised, as if there's been a whole lot of debate about which Brady Bunch song is the best.
Well, that's what I said. There probably hasn't. Now, I don't. You know the Brady Bunch CD that came out that had like all the Brady Bunch songs
yeah,
on it?
I have
that right. Yeah, it's a Sunshine Day is what it's called, I believe. My favorite song, and I don't know if it was ever on a Brady Bunch episode, but I love Barry Williams' song on there, Cheyenne.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
I really like that a lot. It never made it. It wasn't on the show, was it? That was just a
I don't think any of the solo tracks are ever on the show.
Yeah, I really like that song.
That's good. And Maureen McCormick with Truckin' After You doing her best Frida Payne. Well, it kind of did remind me of Band of Gold. Obviously, Maureen can't sing that well, but
so anybody watching, if you want to type in and join the conversation on your favorite Brady Bunch song, please let us know. But I'm going with Cheyenne.
It's a Sunshine Day. It's a Sunshine Day. Has that great Bobby Brady soulful bridge.
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, they were highly underrated.
I mean, it was deep Southern soul, that bridge. Southern California, maybe. That's as close as they got.
Oh wait, Willie sent me a message.
Oh,
he's getting on. He said, "Cool,
cool."
All right,
I guess I got one too. No, I didn't. Hey, I'm out, crowd.
I'm just going to send him a follow-up. It says, hang in the queue until we bring you on. That's just for everybody watching. That's our guest tonight. It's Willie Wisely. We'll it's no secret we advertise it, but he's just getting on and joining our green room, as it is, queue. So we're just doing our usual intro stuff and talking about some things. We'll bring Willie up momentarily.
Yep,
it's great.
All right, so watch report. I've got my. I can't.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, Peter's squeaky voice kind of. I don't even think that's him talking. It's time to change. That's somebody else.
Most likely.
I'm convinced. Anyway, I got my my Omega Moonswatch pink.
I was going to say
to go with my pink, the pink in my shirt here, and this is the one that I found by accident. I had gone to the Swatch store to buy a different color, and I saw this one, which I was completely unaware of, and I said, "What about that?" And he said, "You're lucky. It's only going to be in the shops in this month," and it was April 30th, so it was the last day.
Okay.
So I got one, and now they're going for a decent amount of money because they weren't around that long.
They're usually somewhere about the 38 millimeter, aren't they?
No, they're over 40.
Are they? Okay.
I think they're 41 or 42.
All right.
It's interesting you mentioned 38 millimeter because it seems like that's been the move lately with watch companies. A lot of the new ones I see online or whatever, I say, "Oh, that looks really good," and then I look at the dimensions, and it's 38 millimeters, and I'm thinking that's just I too small for me.
The wheelhouse really truly for me is the 40 to 42. If it goes below 40, and then you see the ones that are like 46, 48, which is like almost cartoonish.
I know, I agree.
I'm not interested. It's just what it is. But
40 to 42, I'm happy to go as high as 44, but and I do have a couple of 39s, but anything lower than that. Part of the problem is my eyesight's not as good as it used to be. So
exactly
on a 38 millimeter, there's a lot of features I can't see. So,
and as we discussed before, sorry everybody for taking up the time about watches, but we talk about everything here. There's a lot of watches that I really love the face design and things, but when they have like a gray white background face, and then they make the hour and second hands the same color as the face, I can't see what the heck time it is.
Well, you know what the problem is, Mark? I don't think either the one you're wearing is invisible and you can't see it, or you're not wearing one right now. So it's going to be hard to tell the time.
When I'm relaxing at home, I don't usually wear the watches. Hey, we see Willie in the green room. We'll be with you shortly, my friend. So you get comfortable. Cool. And
one last thing about watches. I happened again, and this was all online. I got an ad about an upcoming watch show in LA this coming weekend, August 1st and 2nd, down in Manhattan Beach, which is a little bit of a schlep, but not that bad. And they're going to have like 70 different watch dealers there.
Oh wow! You'll definitely
a lot of
find
stuff
something of interest.
A lot of stuff for sale. I looked at who was going to be there. Most of the brands I hadn't heard of, which is great.
Yeah, sure.
And some of the ones I did know, some are pretty expensive, but some are not. It's like it's running the gamut.
Yeah. So
this is the first watch show I'll have attended since the early 80s. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, cool. I stopped by my just because I didn't know about it. I saw an ad today, and they're having a big card show. Baseball cards, Pokemon, that kind of thing. Half a mile from my house. So I said, I'll hop on the scooter. I'll go down and.
Yeah, you might as well, right?
Yeah, I hadn't been to a card show in a million years, and the big business aspect of it anymore is a little disheartening. You know
what else is disheartening? The last one I went to, which was a couple of years ago, it was almost all Pokemon stuff.
Yeah. It was.
Baseball cards took a really big back seat to gaming stuff.
Yeah, and times changed.
And it was advertised as a baseball card show.
Yeah. Well, I think the big difference, I was walking out in the parking lot, the big difference of when I go to a record show to buy records, I'm buying things not so much to wrap them up and put them away and hope they gain in value. I'm buying them because I want to hold it, look at it, put it on my turntable, listen to it, experience it. These people that buy these cards that are already PSA graded, put in the slab, they're just getting them to put them away and hope they.
I know. Yeah. It takes the heart out of collecting.
So I'd much rather collect albums.
Speaking of albums, and we're talking about the vinyl kind right now, our guest has just reissued an absolutely gorgeous a vinyl version of his album from 30 years ago called She, and I happened to get it in the mail yesterday.
He did? I didn't know anything about that. Wait a second. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And you got yours a while back, and yours is. I haven't taken the plastic off of it yet.
Oh, look at that!
What beautiful. A fine job!
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, great.
And it's also a really fine album. And the thing that's most remarkable about it is, in our pop world, as we know it, most of the acts are ones who have like one style. They do one style of pop or one style of music even. And the only variation is, up tempo, mid tempo, or ballad. And that, that's fine. I have no complaints if I'm really liking what I'm hearing. But what's remarkable about She is it tackled so many different genres and subgenres of music. I mean, our guest he could do it all.
Mm-hmm.
There's jazz, there's blues, there's some soul, there's some power pop, there's some ballads. It's all over the place. But again, he does it quite well. So we're going to play some tracks from the aforementioned album and, of course, talk to our guest about it and other aspects of his long and storied career. So without further ado, would you please give a huge Material Issues welcome to Mr. Willie Wisely?
There he is.
There he is with said album right back there.
He got a copy himself. Nice.
Imagine that.
You probably got it even before we did.
I probably did. I don't know how he knew somebody. Willie, it's great to see you, my friend.
Back at both you guys. Oh my God, tremendous. It's so generous of you to have me on.
How are things in Minneapolis right now?
Well, they're good. We survived the winter, the troubles, as I called them. That was awful. They actually aren't done, but the worst of it is behind us. And but that aside, everything is well. It happens to be 94 degrees today, a little hot.
Whoa.
But, yeah. Yeah, it's great. I have college age kids. They're doing super at college. And we just got back from a trip to Norway to visit my wife's cousins there. And wow, what a country. We could just do a podcast on Norway. Yeah.
Well, the only part of Norway I was ever in, and technically it's not part of Norway, is the Oslo airport. But I've been to a few countries in Scandinavia, including Sweden, where we do IPO in Stockholm, and then Copenhagen, where we've done IPO as well. And they're both amazing places. I can imagine that Norway is no different. It's got to be great.
Yep. It's,
where did you go?
All over the bottom half of the country, literally. Her family has lots of different homes in the fjords and whatnot. So it was Oslo, down to Arendal, which is kind of south west of Oslo, and then up through the middle of the country and saw some glaciers and hit the Nordfjords and stayed for a while. It was a little nuts. Malloy. An island way out on the west coast that overlooks the Norway Sea, which is the epicenter where my wife's family is from. And we actually visited with her 99-year-old, third cousin or something.
Wow.
So it's just very, very cool.
It is. But of course, the big question, did you do any record shopping?
I did, not technically, no. I did stop in every secondhand store I could find and took some photos and stuff. We were very short on luggage space and rental car room, so I had to be pave.
No, trust me, I know the feeling. When I'm doing my trips to Liverpool and Stockholm and this year Glasgow, I had to send a lot of stuff back.
He ships it back. He actually packs a box and ships all his purchases back.
And well, not all, thankfully. I was able to take some on the plane, and there were some that fit in my suitcase and Rena's suitcase. So, but even with that, I had to ship back a couple of boxes. And trust me when I say it was never cheap, but now it's insane.
Oh God, yeah,
crazy.
I still owe FedEx for their tariff.
Sure, yeah.
And speaking of insane, and the fact that you just said, your kids are in college and, following you and your career and knowing you a little bit. And I remember when you had picture your kids when they were, that big. And I mean, not only is that insane, but 30 years ago, 30 years ago.
It's batshit. Yeah.
I mean, you still look great. David and I keep aging. I don't know how. I don't know how that happens, but Absolutely, absolutely wonderful though that you put it out on vinyl and all the packages, and yeah, I'm hoping it's doing well for you. I'm sure it is.
The the reception has just really been wonderful. And I just want to start off today by saying that it's been, nearly 30 years of you two supporting my musical vision, and you brought Mark, you brought me into Philadelphia for that show, and then up to New York. A few years, it was 5-6 years later, and David invited me to the IPOs and putting me on those compact discs, the comps and stuff. It's meant the world over the years. So to talk to you guys now is pretty touching. Thank you.
Well, it was our pleasure. Thank you for the music. That's
yeah, indeed. I mean, the times I saw you out at the World Cafe and we went out for food and things and hanging out, but the first time I saw you was on you were touring with behind Turbo Sherbet, and that was down at like the Khyber or something downtown, and I remember it wasn't well attended just because it was. And I remember one of the club people after your first song came up behind me and go, "What the hell is this?" Because you had a lot of like things going on, that pre-recorded whizzes and things. And I loved it. And that's where you and I actually first met for the first time. And I told you, how much of a fan I was. And I think I sent you the live tape of that show too.
No, you definitely did, and you posted it on YouTube, and I've listened to it fairly recently, actually. And yeah, that was insane. That was particularly to deliver to a room of 3 people.
Yeah. I think your word was "you silly fillies."
Oh dear.
All right. So, Willie, I've got to ask you the $1 million question, one that you've been asked probably, a million times. What's your real name? Do we get to know that, or is that always going to be a secret?
Gosh, it's I was Billy as a kid, and when I at 15 got the music bug and realized I had to make it, it was too tempting to not choose Willie Wisely. I had a friend who was already named Willie, so I imagine stealing your friend's first name. It was awkward. But Willie Wisely just has such.
But your real first name is William.
William, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
It works.
Well, I gotta tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Wisely must be proud of you.
They are. Yeah, I'm a mama's boy, so yeah.
There you go.
I don't know if you ever seen. I found this shirt at a Renaissance fair. You have chosen wisely.
Yeah, love it.
I said, I have to buy this, and fortunately I found it for tonight's episode. So I was quite happy about that. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you grew up, Willie, taking it all the way back to you grew up in Minneapolis.
Yes, Minneapolis in the, I started releasing cassettes in high school in the early 80s, but by the late 80s, Minneapolis was just, raging with talent. And from 88 to 94, I was head of promotions at First Avenue and 7th Street Entry. So I just saw everything and more. So it was always just in the heart of that scene. I'm a couple years younger than the big wave of Husker Du replacements, Jayhawks, and Trip Shakespeare. Opened up for Shakespeare a couple times, but it was always just following in the footsteps of that critical mass. Not to mention, of course, just Prince, just the overlord of everything. So,
yeah, indeed. When you were small, were your influences, were your parents musical, or what really got you the bug to start playing? And was guitar a first instrument, or was it piano?
It was always guitar, and I'm still just a cursory keyboardist. But the guitar was first. I'll tell you, singing was actually first, and the apocryphal story for me was I didn't know I was a musician or even had a voice but 4 of my friends signed up for the 9th grade talent show in junior high school. And of course it's 1979. So what are you going to play? You're going to play Freebird, and but without irony. Right. And the problem is all 4 of them are guitarists. They had to talk the jazz drummer from orchestra into playing it. He could barely tolerate rock and roll. And they didn't have a bass player either. And none of them could sing. And so they were just like, Bill, can you sing? And I remember standing in the wings, about to go on, kind of nervous. I could sing it with them while they played, in Jeff's bedroom and stuff. So I'm like, okay, that works. Let's do this. And I remember standing off on the wings of the stage and like, I need to do something exciting. So I remember I unzipped my shirt and took off my shoes and went out on stage and just, I'm sure it was terrible, but I sang it and I remember great applause. And the irony here is that, well, I don't know if it's irony, but it's the funny. Only like 3 or 4 years ago, I've been telling that story that's my origin story. I've been telling it my whole life. 3 or 4 years ago, pictures emerged of the event.
Wow.
Of me on stage with Jim, Jeff, Scott, and whoever that was, the 4 guitarists playing Freebird. And I did not have my shirt zipped down and I did not have my shoes off. So that was just me thinking how big of a rock star I was.
But it's a much better story though to have it unzipped with these shoes off. Yeah. That works much better.
I'm not a trusted source, so anything I say to you guys might be false here.
Pretty much. So did that really kick off the bug for you to perform it? I mean, was that like, oh my God, I kind of like that a lot?
Yeah. When I went back to my parents after the show and they were like, what? Well, I think they said, what was that? I mean, similar to perhaps the show at Khyber Pass. But I swear I remember them saying, something like, that was great. And, I don't know. I just still I love being on stage. I went into theater after that in high school and got all the lead roles because I'm a ham. So I love being on stage so much.
That's really obvious. And you also love doing house concerts. And I remember coming to one at your own house, which was interesting because I'd never seen a house concert at somebody's own house. And so you have to love being on stage if you're willing to do that.
Yeah, true.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, David and I were talking pre-show about so many of the things that you've done, but I first came across your music as the pop side of things, and of course the She album, but you've done quite a number of albums, a lot of work in the jazz genre. And I don't know whether a number of your fans actually know that side of you as well. That's pretty big.
And is it true you went into jazz because the only rock band that had impressed you was the Beatles?
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, my roommate at the time was a big jazz freak and a jazz drummer himself. Tim DeRoche, he still plays in the Portland scene and beyond. And he was my roommate at the time, and he got so sick of me playing the same 7 albums that he said, "Okay, I'm taking you to jazz school, dude. I'm going to sit you down and teach you about something new. If you hate 80s rock so much, then we're going to go back in time." So, yeah. I mean, and that's all hyperbole. How can you not like everything that came along and with the Beatles and that whole era, and whether it's the Who's, Tommy, or Hendrix.
So you do actually like other things from that era.
Of course.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't believe. I was just insane at the time. I was,
Have you ever been?
Hey, Michael McCartney.
Michael, great to see you again.
Michael McCartney's checking in, saying aloha from Lahaina.
Yes, I love that man.
Oh, you know Michael. Okay, great. I'm sure he's played your music. I have to ask, have you ever been in a Kinks tribute band? Because you look like Ray Davies. Not so much right now, but over the years, I used to think that.
And he also has a kitschy sort of Broadway edge to him.
Yes.
No, I should. There's a band in town I was in a group called the Conquerors in the late 90s, and Keith from the Conquerors has a local band called Kind of Kinky, and they do like every song. It's insane, and yeah, so it would be hard to top what Keith is doing.
You know, I have to bring this up only because you'll know everybody I'm talking about. The Conquerors played IPO in Minneapolis the one year we did it, and that was 2007. And you were here, so you weren't part of that. But we did it at a place called the Uptown Bar, which, of course, you know. And it was run by a guy who, well, all I can say, and I don't like to speak ill of people, but man, this guy was an asshole. I don't know if you like him, but every time I would see him, he looked exactly like. First of all, he was bald and had the same shaped head as Mr. Slate from the Flintstones. And every time I would see him, he would have that same angry look on his face that Mr. Slate had when he catch Fred gold bricking. Oh my God. He made us, even though the schedule had been put together 2 months before, and I had gone through a different booking guy. I don't even remember the guy's name. But he must have become aware. The owner must become aware of this later. With it, 2 hours before our opening show, he said, "You're starting way too early. We're going to move everything an hour and a half later." And thank God I had my laptop with me, because I was able to contact the bands and say, "We're starting an hour and a half late." I don't know how we did it, but nobody dropped out over the 4 days. 4 days that we were there, everyone rolled with that.
Wow!
But
yeah, I remember that.
And we had some really cool bands at that.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, I remember that dude, and I can't remember his name. But yeah, he was never particularly pleasant to interface with or get paid from or anything. Yeah.
All right, so it's not just me. Okay, good.
No, yeah, I loved it. Besides, as a room with sound and stuff, I so greatly preferred the 7th Street entry at the time.
I have never been to any other venue in Minneapolis, but I know the First Avenue, which you mentioned, was very well thought of. We had some really cool people at that first IPO. We had. There was a Dan Sarka's band, and I'm trying to remember which one at that time. Why am I blanking? Not the Vandalia. No, actually, it may have been. It was Stingray Green.
Oh, okay.
His band after, and we had
the Vandalias were wonderful.
Well, we had the Conquerors, and we had a young girl who went on to have and she's still having quite a career, but no one knew her at that time. Adrienne Lenker.
Yeah,
she's really big in the indie scene now.
Yeah.
I mean, now what would she be now? Probably about 30. But yeah, we knew she had a whole lot of talent. So it was other than this guy who owned the club, everything else was really cool. I mean, all the other people at the club were very nice to me, and the bands were great. But I never came back to Minneapolis after that. And I keep thinking about. I heard that the club closed, and no one may have been happier than me.
Going on late. It's funny because even just a decade or two ago, like going on late was better. You sell booze all the way up to closing time, but no one, people barely drink anymore, and they generally go out. Shows are early now. So
we had an owner Eric Cheel, who owns Montrose Saloon in Chicago, where we've done IPO now for many years, and we were talking about that, how people don't drink, or a lot of the kids drink before they get to the club so that they don't have to buy it there. It's the younger audience is tough. The older audience is too old to drink like they used to, and the younger audience doesn't want to pay for it, so they're drinking before the show.
I saw a bumper sticker yesterday that said, "Yeah, I'm old, but I saw all the best bands."
Exactly.
It's true. It's absolutely. A lot of In Philadelphia, World Cafe shut down, which was hard to see. But a lot of like the smaller venues that touring, indie acts that maybe don't have quite the following here that could play, they don't exist anymore. And it's happening that way kind of in a lot of places where, you'd be able to go to a 150 person room and it'd be like 4 or 5 of those kind of places to play in town. You could get a gig. Those places have disappeared, and now it's more, 500 to 1,500, person rooms that are available. And if you're not a known entity and you're not going to bring, 500 people into the show, it's tough to get a gig anymore.
It's hard, and COVID was the biggest cause of that. I mean, we lost a lot of the venues that Mark is talking about. The venues of that size, they just could not survive when they, for over a year of not being able to do any shows. So we lost a lot of them. Thankfully, a few others have sprung up.
Yeah, here and there, but it's just not the same. And of course, you look at just the environment. Restaurants or bars that used to stay open until 1:30 in the morning, last call at 1:30. They're closing at midnight now. They're shut down and done because nobody's out drinking, and that affects places that used to have 4 bands in a night because the last band wouldn't finish up till 1:00 in the morning. And have you seen that in Minneapolis? Kind of the degradation of places to play or the late night crowds.
Surprisingly, no. Well,
wow,
late night. Yeah, late night is not happening, but there are a ton of venues of all different sizes. I've been playing the Hi-Hat in St. Paul, which is 43 capacity. So, you don't even have to, and you go in, there's kind of barely a PA. You're playing among the tables, and it's just the coolest thing. I go in there and do kind of an organ combo jazz show. I take my originals and sort of put them through Graham Bond orchestra, sort of England in the 60s kind of vibe, or 52nd Street, with Tommy Barbarella, Prince's keyboardist for years. I'll do that in that little tiny club, and that's rad. I had the She 30 release party with the original She band on the album at 150 capacity venue seated, 300 standing, called the Ice House, which is right where all the troubles were happening last winter, but it's in the coolest, most important music neighborhood in Minneapolis, and that club is doing quite well. And there's a bunch of them. It's just like Minneapolis has always had so much talent, and there's just tons of places that want live music. So
that's cool.
Well, yeah. I'm going to have a talk with you then, because now I'm really inspired to bring IPO back there. Oh, because like I said, we had a great time. Other than the owner of the club, we had a really good time.
Yes,
let's really great bands.
I would love to talk to you through venues.
Yeah, fantastic. So Willie, so you grew up in Minneapolis. High school started your love of maybe getting into this music thing and whatnot. Where'd you end up going to school? You went to college for music or for something else?
I went to Beloit College. No, my parents taught me into like doing a business degree or something. I'm like, okay, fine, and I actually did. But I took piano lessons at college, and I took, and I did choir and stuff. I went to Beloit College in southern Wisconsin, between Madison and Janesville, and I'd hike up to Madison to go see bands and stuff. But Beloit was a little too small, and there just weren't enough musicians that went to school there. So I wound up finishing my last 2 years at the U of M in the Twin Cities because I already had bands in mind that I wanted to be in here. So, finished, got I think I was getting D's in economics by the time I was graduating. I was just so enthralled with music. Working at Shawnee, there was a distribution company here called Shawnee. I worked for an epic rack jobber guy from the 1960s, 70s, 80s who used to put records into stores. all the big retailers,
nice,
like Music Land and Best Buy, and later maybe Sam Goody. I'm missing another one. Like all the major distributors were here. Pickwick and K-Tel and all those companies were based here too. The TV ad companies.
Right.
And it's always been this kind of a strange music hub, here. Not exactly attorneys and managers and that sort of stuff, but and labels, but music oriented people.
Was Ryko Disc based in Minneapolis?
There you go. Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how long do you spend in Minneapolis before you decide to hit the bricks and go to LA?
Yeah, I released 2 albums as the Willie Wisely Trio in '92 and '94. The '94 album was released on Pravda out of Chicago.
Okay.
Ken,
Yes.
Ken
Goodman.
Guys are amazing. Releasing a ton of other great music. Such a generous souls, those New Duncan Imperial guys.
Oh yeah, they're fun.
Yep. And then my trio fell apart. People got interested in other things, so I needed to strike out on my own. And that's when producer John Fields cornered me to be involved in a John Denver tribute, which we did. And we had so much fun in the studio that he said, "Hey, I want to sign you to this October Records that I'm starting with my uncle, Steven Greenberg, who was his band that he produced and played everything on was Lip Sync, and they had the big hit Funky Town.
Really? Wow.
Gotta move on to a town that's right for me. That song.
Wow.
So Steven Greenberg, we call him Unc. That's because he's John Fields' uncle, and Steven just took John and took all of his talent and really fostered it, built him a studio, built him a record label. I got signed. We made Turbo Sherbert, and after that, I felt, and then I did the Conquerors for a while. But after that, I felt like I've done all I can in Minneapolis, and a big fan of my Willie Wisely Trio. This is a fun story. I would go to St. Louis 4 times a year, and this kid would always show up, and he'd bring all his brothers, and then all the brothers' friends, and then his parents would show up, and it just like James was always bringing all these people to my shows and buying multiples of all my discs, and so supportive and writing me letters. And in 1998, when I'm kind of floundering in Minneapolis, he calls, "Dude, I just got an agent in LA, and I want all my friends to move out there. It's a coterie of people. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it. You're my favorite musician. Let's go." It's James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, geez.
And he's just a wonderful fella. And I moved out to LA. We spent a lot of time together with he and his wife, Jenna Fisher, at the time. And it just, he became a true blue inspiration for me. And with him out in LA and my brother moving out simultaneously, I felt safe to do so. I immediately went out and was warmly welcomed by Mr. Bash and all the musicians from that scene. And I played with, so many of the people that, David, you've supported over the years in Los Angeles, and Linus of Hollywood being one of them, who signed me to his Franklin Castle record. So I felt in the first 2 years of LA that it was just so wonderful. I miss that city terribly, even though I love the Twin Cities too.
Yeah.
Believe me, I missed that scene as well, because there really was a scene at that time.
We were talking about Highland Grounds earlier this afternoon, and what a splash point that was for a while. Just an unparticular coffee shop that just became a hub on Thursdays for power pop people.
Wendy Coulter put together that Third Thursday show, which was it was a whole lot of fun. That place unfortunately closed, but it's now a really cool restaurant called Cat and Fiddle, which Cat and Fiddle was on Sunset for a while, and it became a very popular musicians hang. And I guess maybe the rent up there was too high. I don't know why, but they closed shop there and moved down to where Highland Grounds was. And so it's great to just I go to that restaurant a lot, and it does bring back some memories of Highland Grounds and Third Thursday and the whole thing. So was Willie Wisely Trio doing more of a jazz thing or more of a pop thing?
Yeah, that goes back to Mark's comment that my music, a good deal of it is jazz inflected, and it's just I've always liked my diminished half diminished 7 chords and augmenteds, and it's really nothing that Paul McCartney didn't use, but there's something a little more theatrical about my music at times than the Beatles per se, and so it just winds up being a little bit jazzy, and it happens to be the music that I listen to for pleasure, and like most of this is my rock. The jazz is equal size right across the room. I don't know. It's such a uniquely American thing, and it's so rewarding to get to the point where you can hear a saxophonist and name who it is, and it's ear training for me, and yeah, and also that feeds into that is the fidelity and what studio it might have been recorded in, and it's a way to sensitize your ears really deeply about when something was made, who's playing on it, what combination of people made what kind of energy, and it's just jazz is a big puzzle to me. I can't really play it. Like I couldn't, sit here and be Barney Kessel for you. I can't do it, but I write with those sonorities.
Oh yeah, it's a hard thing to explain, but all of your music, and I think that's what really hooked me in the first two albums. It's just the way you transition from one chord to the next. It just has a different, almost like you're just not quite on the beat right, and it's not like you made a mistake there. You're doing it that way, and it's a I don't know. It's just a real ear candy. It does something different than, that's what really got me. It did something different than a lot of previous loves of artists of mine didn't sound that way.
Oh, wow.
And you did. You just had that something to it, and
cool to hear you say, because it's passing tones, it's tones, it's leading tones. That would be the music theory way to explain that.
Okay, well, yeah, that's I didn't know the exact phrase. All I could say was I knew something was happening a little different than most things I listened to, and that's what. And and I think some of the more ballady stuff, like Vagabond off the first album, just pull. And I, David and I have this conversation all the time. I'm also a very big lyrics guy. David likes lyrics, but he likes the overall sound of the words and the music.
The sound and the feel more than the meaning.
Now I love it too. I love the melodies. I love it, everything. But I also dig the lyrics and things like Vagabond. I listen to it and I hear things. And Working Girl was another one of my favorites from that. And everything. It was quite a transitional album for me when I first heard that, and then of course Turbo Sherbet just blew me away. I remember the first conversation we had. I said, "Are you playing?" She said, "Yeah, tonight." And I you might have kicked off that whole night with it saying, "Here's for Mark. We'll do this," and it just just has has that balls to it. I love it. I love it.
I'm so glad you brought up Working Girl on She, because that is one of my favorite set of lyrics ever because of the economy of it. The verse, so hopefully this isn't too inside baseball, but the verses have 2 to 4 syllables per line. And so I have very little meter to work with in writing those lyrics. And it really worked. I think it tells a great story of jealousy and self-doubt, and it does it with such economy. It was really exciting writing that. And the memory of it, you didn't ask, but I'll tell you.
That's what we're here for.
The meandering discussion. But I was Bob Wiseman from Blue Rodeo, the Canadian band, had invited me up to collaborate and record in Toronto, outskirts of Toronto at his studio. And we couldn't get his studio working, or we couldn't even turn the heat on. So my whole visit there to January in the 2 hours outside of Toronto in Canada was a total, we didn't do anything. But I do remember taking a long blizzardy walk and hammering out those lyrics. And luckily I didn't have to take my gloves off or write anything down, because each line is 2 to 4 syllables.
Yeah, really well done. And that's I'm glad we went down that road, because that just reminded me about why that first album hit home so hard. It's just something very different about it. And And again, we're 30 years beyond, which really blows my mind. But when did you put together the idea of let's do a special packaging anniversary release of this thing? What was the genesis of that? And
when it turned 24, but that happened to be in the wake of COVID, and I'm like, I'm not going to celebrate a 25-year anniversary during COVID. And besides, I was kind of on my heels because I had been, for a couple years, I had been messaging the photographer of the cover. And she initially was like, yeah, I can find all the negatives for that, because I really wanted to do, this is the most, I'm most sentimental about this album in my catalog. And I wanted to do it right. I wanted to gatefold. I wanted to get some extra photos from that fun session out in the woods. And she initially said, I'll find them in my mom's attic. And then she just went, there's a story there. She went dark on me, and I've never heard from her since, despite 17 attempts. And I kept waiting to kind of get the photos before I could, release it. And then about a year ago, when the 30th is coming up, I'm not missing this one. I stopped trying to get a hold of her, and I thought, let's do. And you were holding it up. I said, why don't I get a photographer over here and riff on this? I still have the freaking the yellow shirt. And so we did a 2026 photo shoot, and there were a lot of photos, but I started to look into the camera that the photographer was taking. Oh, by the way, we took this into a mirror. It was in the forest, and it has its hazy quality because it was a photograph into a mirror, then at me, and so
very cool.
We recreated that with the shirt and whatnot. But then I started looking at my face and like, nobody wants to see fucking 30-year-old, guy looking off to the side longingly, Susanna Hoff style. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, no, I'm covering my face. And when we covered my face with these fun vanity mirrors,
right,
it became sort of a trippy like comment on, whoa, who is she anyway? And what is Willie, and why have so few people heard about this record? And so I really loved how it turned out.
It turned out great. And I was actually going to ask you, is there a specific she that inspired the record?
Well, yeah, I had dated a woman for almost 9 years, and it was a really fraught relationship, and I'm sure it was all my fault, and or at least 51%. And it was just always a tough one, fraught with just, I was never sure, and she was never sure if we should even be in it, and but neither of us had the courage to end it.
Oh boy.
So,
there.
Yeah. And yeah, when you have two uncourageous people, that can be a weird situation. Vagabond you mentioned, Mark, was specifically about that relationship. And that song came to me. That's one of the few songs I've ever written that was like done in a sitting. Written, so a lot of truth in it.
And people that are watching or in the archives, you see that album he's holding up. It's 30th anniversary of She. I'm running the website across the bottom right now, williewisely.com. That'll lead you to a store, and I'm sure it's probably available at other places online if you look at. But
Bandcamp, Willie Wisely at Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, yep.
And Bandcamp has a few deluxe versions as well.
Yeah, I sold out of the big one. I went. I never throw away anything, guys. I have a problem. But so I had all this promo stuff back from the original release of the record, and I only had like 9 copies of everything. So the super deluxe sold out pretty quick, because that was stocked with all sorts of memorabilia and photos and posters and promo cassettes and promo CDs and I'm forgetting something. But so sold out of that. So now we just have a deluxe, which comes with kind of the best thing about it. It was the press kit. This was back when, you would mail out your CD to everybody and you'd get reviews back in printed newspapers. And the reviews are hysterical, I think. And it really tells the story of the record. I was interviewed a bunch upon the release because the record did a great job of reaching people. And so I was able, in the longer interviews, like the whole story's there. And And I thought these are the best liner notes ever. So there's like 20 pages of just press clippings, and because it did pretty well at college radio. Probably my only album that did pretty well at college radio.
Oh wow, okay. Well, 30 years.
Can we play a track from it?
Oh, yes.
Well,
David chose these tracks, so these are his.
Yeah, you can blame me. But no, one thing when I play on the show, when I play some tracks from an album, I invariably start with the first one because I think that there must have been a reason why the artist chose it to be number one, and it happens to be my favorite track because it's probably the poppiest, and that's where I generally live. But we'll play it and then we'll ask you if you would to talk about it. But it's a lead-off track from She. It's called Go, and we're going to play it right now on Material Issues.
Well, thanks for the sage opinions. Now tell me something I don't know. And once you're finished bitching, go. I said go. Go, 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 go. Don't wait for invitations. I said go, go, go. Well, God gave the woman instinct, but how's he supposed to know that you'd smudge it up like lipstick? Go, I said go, I said go, 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 go. Don't wait for divine intervention. I said go, go, go. Is it the way we love now? Is it the way we love now? Children, is it the way we love now? You might leave here graciously, or you could make the show. But either way, your history. Go, I said go. Go, 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 go. Don't wait for standing ovations. Go, I said go. I said go, 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 go. Keep all your obligations. Now I said go, go, go.
There it is.
That was the lead-off track from Willie Wisely's album She, which has just been given a wonderful 30th anniversary vinyl reissue. The track is called Go. And
Nice. It's Willie responding to Michael McCartney out in Hawaii.
I think that's the first time we've ever had a guest comment
See?
live.
See,
So-
he even does.
266 episodes. That was a first.
See, even as a guest, he jazzes things up a little bit, which is
No pun
wonderful.
intended.
No pun
And even
intended.
that song "Go" is not a straight ahead pop song or a power pop song. It's got other influences in there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a little at times it's a little modal, and I don't know. That's not on purpose. I was just putting fun chords together, but yeah, I was definitely trying to write something that would go on McCartney's Ram. When I sat down.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't set out to make it a song about anything. It's kind of an angry song, like go F yourself a little bit,
Right.
In breakup song, which isn't really my favorite stuff. I find dour music a little depressing, and well, yeah, good, it works. But but when I was finishing the song, I remember I was very sick from food poisoning in New York, and I actually sharing a bed with my girlfriend's friend, like, you know, just like sleeping anywhere. She lived in a, you know, a 10 by 20 apartment in Manhattan, and there's no, you know, there's only an elevator shaft window, and I'm just full of gas and bad late night food from a bodega in Manhattan, just exploding. But I remember waking up the next morning just so embarrassed because it must have been so miserable for her. Oh my God. I know this is disgusting, but you know, but I remember hammering out the song the next day going, go, 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 go. And there's a couple ironies to, I gotta go. Anyway, stick shit.
I can kind of hear, now that you mention it in the verse, I can kind of hear a bit of a Ram thing going on, or certainly a McCartney thing.
Well, go, go, go. The very end of it is, there's a little bit of "Lady, Let's Eat at Home."
Oh yeah,
that I actually only realized for the Sheath. For the 30th anniversary show that we had in June here in Minneapolis, I only realized then, like, oh God, I stole that from Come On Little Lady. Anyway, but yeah, that's kind of all about Go. I just wanted to write something super poppy, like give me a chorus. And when I brought it into John Fields, he knew it was special, played that piano, and there's a good documentary on the making of that song. We happened to have a videographer in the studio that day that and Uncle Steven Greenberg of Lip Sync Funky Town fame, he was in the studio that day and wound up playing drums. So there's footage of him playing drums. I should I'll find it on YouTube and share the link.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Speaking of drums on that song, the panning back and forth of just even during in the middle of a drum roll is very cool as well. It just I listening, both my speakers are wide right and left here in my house, and I'm like, well, yeah, there it went. All right, yeah, that's cool. I like it. I love little pieces like that.
Yep, you know it. You heard it, dude. Yep. There's the YouTube link. It's about a 12-minute piece, and it's really fun. I love John Fields. He produced my new record that's in the can, done, mixed, mastered.
Oh, there's a new one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Release that later this year. I first wanted to celebrate She's 30th.
Yeah. We'll talk about that towards the very end of the interview. We'll talk about what's coming. But real quick, Tyler dropped a question. He said, Willie, how was doing the soundtrack to Romeo and Juliet? Did you work with Lemmy?
I did not. The Lemmy tracks were handed to me. I was told by James Gunn in no uncertain terms that working with him was hell. And that he's dead, so I guess we can talk ill. He needed a steady flow of whiskey supplied. There was some wanderings off. Lloyd at Troma Films, Kaufman, is still a very good friend of mine, and yeah, it was a horror show, and Lloyd's worked with them all, right? So. But those tracks with where I did the soundtrack, where Lemmy is talking over the top of them, yeah, those get some good streaming numbers. People like those. It's Lemmy reciting the adapted to Troma aesthetics, the adapted first couple paragraphs of Romeo and Juliet. So it's in pentatonic. It's in the Shakespearean meter, and it's Lemmy, trying to talk like Shakespeare. So it's kind of funny.
Good stuff.
I have to ask you about this one question about Steven Greenberg. Now, I know that's a fairly common name, but there was an artist named who went by Steve Greenberg, who did a song called Big Bruce, which was a takeoff of Big Bad John. Is that him?
It is not him. Big Bad John. Oh, that's all. No,
Big Bruce was about a fairly effeminate guy. It was a joke song. but it was in that vein. And so that's not the same Steve/Steven Greenberg.
No, it's not. No, Uncle Stevie went on after Lip Sync. He he founded a early computer-based design company, like in late '80s, and yeah, he's been an innovator his whole life, and I still talk to him all the time. He was so generous to me. I don't want to get into the business of it, but I gotta say, like, there are good actors in this business, and he was one of them.
Yeah.
Nice. So she does fairly well. You said it did well in college radio, and I'm sure you toured behind it quite a bit. I was not. I don't know if you came east with a tour with that album, but I didn't see you until the next album, whenever you came this direction, and that's when I started catching you live. And quite a live show you put on. I'll tell you that much. You've got energy of 4 or 5 people put together. And I've seen you, besides doing your solo stuff, I've seen you play at World Cafe with Cliff and a bunch of people, and you really put on a really good show.
Indeed,
it's show business, and you do it well. Yeah,
I like to believe I'm playing a stadium, no matter where I am. I just love music so much. I love my heroes so much. The Who and Mick Jagger and the people that are even just now that we have the Let It Be, the Get Back movie, where they just have shots that just you get to see Paul McCartney singing "Don't Let Me Down," or not "Don't Let Me Down." I've got a feeling, and the camera just stays on him, and you realize, like, I could watch you for 3 minutes. There's like no downtime. You're just such a genius. And the Who at Woodstock, and whatever it is, like, these are my heroes. These are people that I think about this and I still get tingles, and I just want to give that back to people. How presumptuous of me that I have that mojo, but I'm trying. And I just the She's 30 show that we just had, I think we did a full video shoot of it and stuff, and it's really fun. I think it'll make for some great video releases, and I'm going to release the live album because the band was that good. So there's going to be a She's 30 live album coming, maybe even just 2 months from now, shortly.
So you're of the adage, you subscribe to that, the adage that you got to play for 5 people the same way you would play for 5,000.
Yeah. Yes. That's how big my head is. But yes.
No, I think that's a really good thing, because it's got to be tough when you go to do a gig and there aren't that many people there. That's one way to kind of forget about the disappointment and get into headspace that you're playing in front of a lot of people. And the few who are there are going to really appreciate it as well. So there's only an upside, really.
And particularly when in my younger days, when I still thought, like, I can still get a huge record deal, and there's going to be a big breakthrough, and I'll get my big hit, and all that, all that stuff that never, I'll find great management or whatever, all that stuff that never happened. There was always this optimism that I had, and I've got to give 100% all the time. But what I'm realizing now that I do it, like, I've got a day job in the music industry, I've got a family, that I so deeply love and cherish, and so many other priorities in my life, but I still get on stage and give it 1,000%. I'm realizing, like, no, this is just in me. This isn't any kind of optimism or careerism. It's just, I love being on stage. I love being in those high school musicals, Once Upon a Mattress or Bye Bye Birdie or all those. And I was always, I wanted to improvise, and the directors were always like, no, stay in your lane. No, you can't pretend to go urinate on the bush while the actress is singing. No. The theater wasn't flexible enough for me. I actually went to Beloit as I kind of fudged earlier. I went as a double major, a theater and business, but I got kicked out of I immediately got a lead role my freshman year at Beloit College as Truffaldino in A Tale of Two Cities or some Commedia dell'arte thing. And I wanted to improvise. So I ruined the show. They shut down the show early. And said, "You're done. You're not in our theater department anymore. You can't be." And so rock and roll, truly, that's when I knew, like, I've got to do music, because music just puts you in you're not in the future, you're not in the past, you are right here now, and there's no greater joy than being 1,000% present. Yeah. And listening to your lyrics and responding to them in real time, and with a theatricality, I guess, delivering that meaning to people. It's very important.
And you said aspirations when you were young, someone's going to see me, someone's going to that's absolutely true, though. And a lot of young artists should understand that if you're doing something, give it your all, whatever you're doing, because you don't know who's in the room. And if there's 5 people in the room or 5,000, you might have been seen by somebody in that 5 that happened to be there. And if you put on a lackadaisical show, then it's definitely not happening, And so, any performance type thing that you're doing, whether you're, like weekends I bartend, and I don't mail it in. I'm performing for 5 straight hours. I'm making everybody happy, and everybody around it. And
I always tell IPO performers in the emails that I send out, when I send out the schedule, I always say, you never know who's going to be in the room when you play. Yeah. And it's true. I've had people, it doesn't happen much anymore because of the state of the industry, but, I've had poorly attended shows where one of the people who was there was somebody who was part of a label, and they were impressed with the band and even invited them to come and, meet with the executives. So it can happen.
Yep.
Or it could happen anyway.
And speaking of great videos, and you did drop a little bit of a line there early on when you were talking about James Gunn, who you said was married to Jenna Fisher, and he left it kind of flying. Yeah. Jenna was in that amazing video, Through Any Window. I had to bring that up. That was such a creative video. It's like a one camera shot kind of video thing that, went from room to room and different things happening, but there was never an edit. And it was an amazing video. Plus, now I understand how because I always wondered, how the heck did you get Jenna Fisher in this video? Now I see the connection.
Yeah, now you know.
Now I know. What a great video, and a great song.
Thank you. And hey, I'm so, don't fear the tech. Here, there's the link for the.
Oh, cool.
The Jenna.
And I actually want to play the one song that I have queued up that's not from She is Through Any Window, because it means a lot to me. It is one of the tracks on International Pop Overthrow Volume 9. Yeah. It's on disc 1. It is track 9, and this happens to be one of my favorite of the 27 comps we've done. And I want to play this track because I was always thankful that we got it, and it's always been one of my favorites of yours. Oh. So we've got Through Any Window from, we'll say it for here, IPO Volume 9 here on Material Issues.
Early in the morning when the sun comes through any window, break the promise that each day's a new early morning. Through any window, blue is the memory of a bedroom eyes, green as the envy I can't hide, red is the color that she lays so bare in early morning. Sunlight kissed me on my hat of gloom in early morning. glide across the bed, then fade at noon through any window. In early morning, blue is the memory of a bedroom light, green as the envy I can't hide. Red is the color that she lays so bare in early morning. Through any window. School bus take them far from home. Take the children far from home. Take the children far from home, soon to see how sad their lives become. Through any window, and blue is the memory of a bedroom eyes, green as the envy I can't hide. Red is the color that she lays so bare in early morning. Through any window. In early morning. Through any window.
Beautiful track.
Yes, that was Through Any Window, which was co-produced by the aforementioned Linus of Hollywood.
Yeah, who has been on Material Issues? Yeah, indeed.
Oh, that's right, he was. God, my mind is going. But I will never forget that the first ever Linus of Hollywood show took place at IPO at a club called Luna Park in LA in 1999, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Tyler checked in. Beautiful song. Do you still perform any John Denver covers?
Yeah. I've recently sung High Calypso just with a friend, campfire style.
Oh wow!
And I've been thinking like, I got to learn Rocky Mountain High. It's too good. The song I covered on that Minneapolis Does Denver compilation was it's pretty obscure. The Annie song is so gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
It just goes on and on with him. I mean, and of course, we're not even mentioning the obvious "Leaving on a Jet Plane," which is that lyric is stunning. It just a gut punch. Yeah. In fact, on Minneapolis Does Denver, a local band, one of my favorite bands of all time, the Hang-Ups.
Yes.
Leaving on a Jet Plane, and it is magnificent. They screw with the time the time signature, and I think like the verses are in 3/4 and the chorus is in 4, and it is a really cool effect. Minneapolis Does Denver.
There you go.
Yeah,
I love that track too.
Hang-Ups were great, Willie. You are correct on that.
Last night at the restaurant, I shake martinis and play my guitar behind the bar, which is a different thing. But whenever when the crowd's having a good time and it's the middle of the night, and I have a little down moment. And last night I played Leaving on a Jet Plane. So when I get everybody, by the second time through, when you leave it on a jet plane, and then I just stop the guitar and you hear the whole restaurant go, "Don't know when I'll be back again." That is the best. And everybody knows that song. Everybody's singing along. And it's funny you just mentioned it right there because it was
Willie, do you ever do that in your shows when you know you're playing in front of a crowd that knows your music? Have you ever let the crowd sing along that way?
I never have.
Whoa.
And honestly, now that we're just sort of trading mixes on the She's 30 live show, I'm realizing because John Fields played bass on the show, and he's producing the live record, and he sent me the audience track, and just the mics that were on the audience. I'm like, holy shit, people are singing along to my music.
Wow, yeah,
yeah, and I'm like, I never heard that happen before, and so we're talking about 3 weeks ago.
No, that's very, it's very cool for an album that's been around 30 years, and obviously people are coming to the show, are intimately aware of the album and you, and are singing along with it. But as an artist, that's gotta feel really cool.
Yeah. It really.
And as I mentioned earlier, she really shows an amazing facility with so many different styles. So the next track I wanted to play is a really fun one called "Blues All the Rage," and people will now learn yet another genre of music that you could handle, that you handled well. All right, so we got "Blues All the Rage" from She here on Material Issues. Come on, play.
Mez Blue, hot New Orleans jazz. Vipers drew in another drag is clean. Pork pie hats, minor leagues, cutting sides for no royalties. The ways green. 33 was where it would begin. Whoa, whoa. And I recall halcyon days, blues, it was all the rage. Blues, it was all the rage, and with prohibition, recording bands, pop the music would be the vanguard thing. 33 was really happening. Whoa, yeah. And I recall halcyon days, blues, it was all the rage. Blues, it was all the rage, and with came the day they caged the bird. Billy's holiday at Leavenworth, obscene. Oh, and Clifford Brown's been rolling cars long before he's a rock and roll star scene. 33 was really happening. Oh, and I recall halcyon days. Blues, it was all the rage. Blues, it was all the rage. Blues, blues, all the rage. All the rage. All the rage. Blues, blues.
That was "Blues
all the
All
way
the
to the
Rage"
page.
from She, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary by this wonderful vinyl, first time on vinyl issue of the album. Beautiful, beautiful packaging, and the songs, of course, within it are excellent. Yeah, it's almost like no matter what genre you cover, And that wasn't strictly blues, but it had a lot of influence in it. But you always managed to make it sound like something McCartney would have done. And I mean that as a total compliment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You warm my heart when you say that. I mean, there's no
the little orchestral parts there that sneak up on you, because you're the song sounds sparse in instrumentation till you really start paying attention to the things, and then all of a sudden that little orchestral pop, and then it's just so well, the little touches there that the artist knows what they're doing, but they also put a lot of thought into it. It's
I'll pull the curtain back on this one a little bit. John and I really did want to, like, we're not going to record with a band per se. We're just me and John and Ken Chastain, another local musician. We were going to do everything, and whoever can do something will do it in the studio, and there will be no rules. And I was assigned, before we ever started production, to go assemble, because John knew me as a jazz record collector, and he said, he gave me a homework assignment. He said, go find me samples that we can use. And this is 1996, so this is the year of Odelay, right? And samples and rock music were just, non-hip hop music and samples were just starting to collide. And I like to think that she was on the vanguard of that, if not the vanguard. And literally every track has enormous names playing on it. And I won't divulge who it is. And to this day, I've never been caught on any of them. Each song has 3 or 4 different samples running. And not running, but stabs and weird things that are not going to be terribly identifiable to one human ear, nor to apparently the bots that catch this stuff 30 years later. So I'm getting, it's literally murder what I'm getting away with on Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone, another track on the record. But I want to say Blues All the Rage was a weird song because it's a little bit Phrygian, which is a little bit Middle Eastern. So John had the idea, let's put a djembe and sitar on it. But I'm like, God, but it's kind of a blues song, and I'm actually celebrating jazz. And because the lyrics are all about famous jazz musicians and how they were rock and roll, and the Mesro, it was a drug dealer, and Billie Holiday, of course, no female vocalist living doesn't owe a debt to her right now, and Chet Baker was such an almost genderless talent. Like, is it a man, a woman? He's so mellifluous, and there's never been anything like him, and particularly in his singing voice, and on and on and on. And Clifford Brown, these guys are shooting up and rolling cars and walking out alive or dying, and it was just like, this is James Dean, this is fucking Janis Joplin or whatever. And I wanted to write a song that said that. And so we were also singing about jazz. We have blues, so there's a harmonica in there. And I got Michael Bland from Prince's band. He was drumming for Prince at the time. He came in, and all he said was blues, and on every chorus, blues. Anyway, but
such a cool track, yeah.
Yeah, everywhere influences.
Yeah. Well, tonight we're talking to you about the 30th anniversary of She. It's a big deal, on vinyl for the first time, and available williewisely.com, Bandcamp. Look up Willie Wisely. You could get it there. But you've done, and we don't have enough time tonight to talk about all of your catalog. It's quite extensive. Your follow-up album, Turbo Sherbet, one of my all-time favorites. I'm glad I dug it out, but I've got the direct-to-vinyl version of Rain Can that you did for me with the live direct-to-vinyl, where you're like, this is for Mark, and then you go in and you play Rain Can, pressed to the 45, which is one of my favorite tracks of yours. Period, is Rain Can, and you've got a lot of mileage out of that song too. it kind of appears in many different versions all over the place, and I love it. I love that. I love My Complicated Friend off of Turbo Sherbet. That is
so
one of my
nice.
favorite tracks. A lot of stuff of yours that you know, really hits home. But you know, Parador, another wonderful album. The list goes on and on and on. We could actually do part 2 of Willie Wisely a couple of months from now and get into all your other catalog things. But as I said, tonight primarily was about the 30th anniversary of She, your debut album, which is fantastic.
But you know what, though? Now that we know that you have a new album coming out,
Oh,
can you give us a little bit of a glimpse, at least verbally, as to what we can expect?
Yeah, I'm nervous about it because it's a very different approach. John Fields produced the whole thing. He's produced parts of most of my parts, if not all of most of my records, but this one was definitely him. And what my intention was, I had these 10 songs, and I wanted to record them live with the band in the studio. And I've been playing a lot with Tommy Barbarella, as I noted earlier, the Prince's keyboardist in the New Power Generation for 6 years. And Tommy is such an amazing talent on the B3 organ. So I wanted the album to be led by the B3, and to have that instrument define its sound. You know, again, it's kind of a jazz instrument, but you know, my songs are pop rock. So it again will walk this line. But then I brought other people in. We had guitar, bass, and drums, all live. John played bass, and John Fields. And so the record was done almost instantly. I could have released it. I punched it up. I added a lot of background vocals, actually, but it's kind of what it is. And I'm a little nervous about that, because whenever I produced She with John Fields or Parador with Linus of Hollywood, man, we worked that stuff into the grinder. In fact, I drove those two guys freaking nuts, because I'm always so, what about, you know, and I love reconsidering things. I love re-recording my songs. To me, that's a blast, and in a different version. And so this record is a little bit like, I wasn't able to make as many choices as I usually like to make. So that's why I'm nervous. I think it might be called Healing the Heart of the World, because that is song number 1.
Oh, very good. All right. When are you projecting this? Is there a projected release?
The first single is coming out, Do or Die, by Halloween.
Okay.
It has a slight, it's not a Christmas song, but it is the setting is Christmas Eve, and I really want to get that song out. And there's a music video that I've directed for it. I like hired actors, and
Wow. Okay.
it's crazy. Now I got to go edit video. All I ever wanted to do, guys, was be in a band, rock, and have the girls scream. And now I'm like editing videos. It's like, you know, in music, you learn how to book yourself and manage yourself, and you learn HTML, and then you learn all the automatic, but you learn how to design a website and handle your business. It's like, I never wanted to do any of this.
Would you, I know you just played, the 30th anniversary show for She, but, down the road with a new album out, do you have any antsiness to get back out on the road and tour around smaller places and play live, or what's your feeling on that?
Yes.
Or time will tell.
Yeah, two things with that. With the kids in college now, there's a little more time, and so I could consider doing particularly some solo touring, and that would be amazing. You know, Mike Viola recently did a bunch of solo touring. He's such a hero to me. Mike blows me away. I was listening to Perfecto today, Acústico de Perfecto today.
Yeah.
Getting my mind blown all over again by Mike Viola. Anyway, so solo touring would be a very cool thing to do. I just simply cannot afford to take a band on the road. But one thing that sticks, and you mentioned it. You mentioned a 3-hour tour, which was our one-off shows in 2014. It was me and Cliff Hillis and Pete Donnelly and Oh my God, shame on me. Shame on me.
Oh, who was it? Oh,
Oh, this is terrible. You have to edit this out. Boggio, Jim Boggio.
yeah,
Oh,
Jim, yeah.
yeah. Another
Hey,
another
I was right
talented
there
guy,
too.
very much in the same vein as Mike Viola, or similar vein as Mike Viola.
Yeah,
My
I think
mind
somebody
went there,
called
too.
Mike and asked if he wanted to join, and he just couldn't. But like, I want to do that tour again. That was so fun. We traded one original
Yep.
song, one cover, and it was just out of hand. It was so fun.
That was such a great show. Yeah, that was really well done. So, well, I mean, you've got a bunch of friends over here in this area in Philadelphia. So if you come through, you're more than welcome to hang out here, buddy. It's always a pleasure. So
The world.
Likewise, if you make it to LA,
Yeah.
well, sure you have tons of friends. Do you still own that house, or did you ever own it?
Yeah. No, we owned a little house on Weepaw Way in Laurel Canyon, and I shouldn't have sold it. We did, and yeah, it was 900 square feet, actually less, and it was just a little hunting shack from the 1920s, right back when people would only go up to the canyon to shoot a deer, and and yeah, there was no kitchen. There was pretty much no kitchen. I love that place so much.
It was God. It was only 900 square feet. Why do I remember it as being so much bigger? But
well, when you're younger, everything's bigger.
Right. Oh God. No. You're recalling our Hollywood Hills rental. Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
The one where you did the okay, got it.
Yeah. The house.
You know, Willie, I can't tell you not to be nervous because me as a years long sufferer of anxiety over things that I'm not even worried about. It's never going to go away. I can't tell you not to be nervous, but I can tell you don't worry, because those are two separate things, and you have nothing to worry about. This album is going to be well received by people. That's my feeling.
Oh my God, you are so sweet. That is, I didn't know where you're going with that. I appreciate that, David. Thank you.
Yeah,
No, because I mean, even Johnny Carson, from what I understand, before his shows, he would occasionally throw up, and it wasn't because he thought, "Oh, this isn't gonna go well." It's because until it happens, you don't know, and there's that uncertainty, but he wasn't worried though, and I don't worry about IPO, but I always think it's gonna go fine. But I'm still nervous as hell the days leading up to it. There's a distinction, and so be as nervous as you have to be, but don't worry.
Well, here's a quick question for you. With the new album coming up, obviously, you will put it out on CD.
A good question, right? Like, copy.
And will it be vinyl as well? So that's kind of
probably not vinyl. Oh my God. So expensive.
Yeah.
But who's a Cool Cat helped me release CD,
right.
a 2019 CD. Maybe it's so affordable to release CD. The answer is yes.
Yeah, please do something physical. And the other thing about CDs, which hasn't quite caught up with people yet, I've been reading articles about comebacks, and who was it? Was it Ryan Hamilton last week who said he was in New Orleans and he couldn't believe our last week's guest?
Oh yeah,
and he couldn't believe how well CDs were selling. The owner was saying that he was selling way more than vinyl. It's making a comeback.
Yes,
and I think part of the reason is, as you mentioned, vinyl is just so expensive. I mean, especially for somebody like me, I hear a lot of music. And I don't always get vinyl sent to me for free. And I totally get that because it's so expensive. But then I'm left with a dilemma. I mean, what can I can't afford to buy everybody's vinyl. And so many people are only doing vinyl now. So what do I do? I mean, I'm all about physical products, so I have to own it. But how am I going to spend $30 on everybody's record? It's impossible. Mm-hmm. So, and I think a lot of people are starting to realize that. That CDs, I want to own something physical, but vinyl's just not affordable for everything I want. So CDs are really cool. and they're not expensive. Let's go back there. And if you're with Cool Cat, you have nothing. Again, nothing to worry about there. You can do a small run, and you'll sell out of them.
Right.
Yeah, Ray Cool Cat's a good friend of ours. He's a great guy. So.
Yeah, he's been a guest on our show too.
Okay, he's 20 minutes from me. Yeah, we're close by here, but fantastic job on the reissue or the vinyl initial issue of the 30th anniversary of She. Great album, Willie. We really appreciate you hanging out here with us tonight.
Yes, very much so.
Total pleasure. I didn't have to go jogging tonight because I got to meet with my friends.
Nice.
And
nice.
You expended almost as much energy talking, so which is what we want. We love guests who what were you saying here?
Michael saying he was at the supermarket before material issues. Even the candy bars were at $5.
No, it's crazy. So CDs are going to be at some point CDs become the only viable option for physical product. You just can't keep buying everybody's vinyl. It's impossible. Let's say goodbye with another track from She, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier. But again, it's one of my favorite poppier tracks on the album. Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone.
Yeah. This is kooky. A lot of sections in there. A lot of It was cut and pasted at many junctures. Like this is the closest I'll ever get to Strawberry Fields.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Well, it was a very valiant attempt. Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone here on Material Issues.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. You may find that you love me more than you know. Oh, please don't talk about me when I'm gone. I don't want my ears ringing with the hearsay so. Such a fool. Please don't spread the word about what went wrong. 'Cause you seem so determined to be so cruel. And your emotions turn upon a dime. So you keep your 2 cents and I'll keep mine.
I buried Willie. No, I figured since you mentioned Strawberry Fields, I had to do that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, again, we're closing out the show with Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone from Willie Wisely. She 30th anniversary. It's on vinyl. WillieWisely.com across the bottom. Find Willie Wisely on Bandcamp. Pick up your copy of the vinyl. And if you don't have a vinyl player, pick up a copy of the CD, or, buy it digitally if you don't even have a CD player. Who cares? Get it and listen to the whole damn thing, start to finish. You're going to love it. And of course,
CDs are go, pun intended.
Yeah. And we'll have Willie back on here in about 6 or 7 months when the brand new album comes out, and we'll talk about more things. So it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Good
really
to pick up with you always.
Great to see you again, Willie. And yeah, thank you so much for appearing.
Truly friends. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for everything over the years. You too, Michael, in the chat.
Always a pleasure.
Have a great night, Willie. Good night.
Good night.
There it was, Willie Wisely, man. What a great interview. What a great guy. He's been a friend for a long time. Yeah.
And he obviously loves what he does, which is, if you're going to be in music, you better love what you do.
Absolutely. And his whole catalog, we were basically focusing on She tonight for a very good reason, but there's a number more albums in his catalog, not only on the pop side, but on the jazzier side. And he's been involved in a lot of different things, and we didn't even get to talk about a lot of the stuff he's involved with, which we should revisit that maybe 6 or 7 months from now when the new album comes out. We get a little deeper into it.
I'm up for that.
Yeah. So yeah, super nice guy.
Very nice guy. Yeah.
So pick up your copy of She 30th anniversary on vinyl. It's a great one. But that's it. I think next week talk about material issues and what's going on. We've got one more guest coming up next week before we have a series of weeks where you're doing some IPO stuff. We might go live from IPO, but next Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m.
Yes, you UK people.
UK time.
Some of whom are going to be watching this on archive. Take note that we'll be at a more palatable time for you, hopefully.
But if you're a glam rock fan, we're going to have a wonderful guest next Sunday at 6 p.m. from the Hollywood Stars, Mr. Scott Fairs. They've got a new album out, but they've been around since early 70s. David, you mentioned having been at the 50th anniversary show.
Yeah, it was great. They still got it, for sure.
They still got it, and we're going to talk about something a little bit tiny differently. That's the glam side of things, and going to have a good time talking to Scott next Sunday.
Oh, yeah, I've got to ask him so much about that LA glam scene.
Yeah.
Especially the stuff behind the scenes there with Rodney's English Disco and all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So tune in next Sunday, and then after that we've got IPO LA. You have kick it off, which will cover August 9th and probably 16th, and we may do something live from there and do something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean the 9th and the 16th, the first. The first, well, the second, the third show.
Yeah, the
Kim Fowley. Well, he may want to talk about Kim. I would be happy not talking about Kim. But if he wants to bring him up, that's fine.
Yes. Yeah. So very cool. So we got a couple runs of IPO stuff going on.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be at 2 different venues. On the 9th, we'll be at Redwood Bar downtown. And on the 16th, which will be the last day of IPO, we'll be in the Valley in Tarzana at Corbin Bowl, which we've never used for IPO until this year. And I am so looking forward to that.
Very cool. Yeah.
And then on the 23rd, we're going to reserve that one for playing more music, maybe another Jeff Popperty.
Oh yeah, if anybody's interested in getting involved and coming online with us, being live in the room and playing Jeff Popperty, which is our new version of pop culture, pop music Jeopardy, which
and Stump the Bash, and Bash got royally stumped in his first attempt at Jeopardy. But that's why
it
I'm
was
raring
fun.
to do it again. I got to avenge myself here.
Very cool. So if you want to play, we're looking for another guest or two to have 2 or 3 people playing. It'd be a lot of fun. Let us know. Drop us a message either on the Facebook group here or on YouTube. If you subscribe at materialissues.com, and we'd love to have you in and play along. It's always fun. We're just having a good time with this darn Material Issues thing. And we thank everybody for joining us. So, and then after that, we got a guest booked on the 30th of August.
Yes, somebody who I've known for several years, a big champion of pop music. He has been an executive at Universal Music for many, many years. He used to also host house concerts, at which I saw Jason Faulkner and John Auer, a few other people who right now it's escaping me. But yeah, a huge fan and has worked with Roger Manning and many people in the whole jellyfish world. We're talking about a guy named Jay Gilbert, and he'll have lots of stories about the industry. I have so many questions, and as I'm sure you do, about he was around when the industry was flourishing, and during his death knell, and then after the aftermath. And I have so many questions about the internet and how it. And did he see it coming? Did he see the writing on? Did he read the writing on the wall? Which a lot of people at major labels either wouldn't read it or didn't read it, and so this should be very informative.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, big time. And then after that, we're into September. We're rolling through the end of the summer, and nothing on the books as of yet.
Not as of yet, but I have a few ideas.
We've always got things. We always got things cooking, so you never know.
Yeah.
Subscribe over at materialissues.com. That's the YouTube channel. That's where all these episodes, 266, as soon as we close this one down, they're all in the archives at materialissues.com. Just click on the live tab and you'll see everything we've done over the last 5+ years, all the episodes, all the great guests. Tell your friends, share it, say this is the best show that you haven't seen. You got to check it out. And then join us every Sunday night.
Absolutely. Please tell your friends. We love having people. We love your comments. And we want people to play Jeopardy as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. So we'll see you next Sunday here, 6 p.m. Going to be a little bit earlier. We'll talk about
Eastern,
it.
6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you as
very
always,
much
Kim. We appreciate
for hanging
you
out
very much.
And to you, David, love Tarina. Have a great rest
Love
of your
to
evening. Go Phillies.
Well, I've got the game on in the background, and you'll be happy to know, which I am not, that the Phillies are kicking the ass of the Yankees 11-4.
11
in the seventh inning. So
holy cow. It's not over yet, though. Yeah. It ain't over till it's over. Right?
Yeah, and actually I have well, I mean, all right, as long as you brought it up. Some people on Facebook were talking about instituting the mercy rule. That a team who's losing in the late innings gets to say, we know we're not going to win, so screw it, the game's over. Some people were for it. I know, well, you're a traditionalist, so I knew you would never be for it. But and I'm not for it either. But some of the people brought up a good point. I mean, you got to play the whole game because a lot of teams are going to use the mercy rule as an excuse to save their pitchers.
Sure.
And that was another. And the corollary to that was that you shouldn't be allowed to bring in position players either. Because that's another move. Again, that's always been a move to save your pitchers, but now it's now with all the relief pitchers being used, it's more important. Now it's more important than ever not to waste. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll hear it. Here we go. I happen to have it right here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was very lucky to find a really and again, when I first introduced it, I said the time wasn't working well. It was way off. I brought it to a watch repair guy who said he couldn't fix it because the insides were so corroded I don't know what he did, but now it's keeping perfect time or very close to it. I have no idea. But he said he couldn't. Yeah, he said he couldn't fix it. Well, he obviously did without knowing that he did. So I am I'm really happy. Anyway,
speaking of the mercy rule, could you imagine spending $400 or $500 on tickets for you and your friends or your family, and going to a ball game, and you're having some beers, having some food, having a blast by the 7th inning, and the teams go, "That's it, we're done, we quit, we're walking off," and you're like, "What the fuck? I got 2 more innings of having a great time."
Somebody brought that up too as a comment, and yeah, especially if your team is winning, you got to be enjoying the hell. And if it's a rival of your, of the team, you got to be enjoying the hell out of that. And suddenly that team says, "Nah, we can't win. We're calling this." I think it's a very ill-considered idea.
And exactly, Tim. Yankees were down 9, bottom of the ninth, 2 out, and they came back and won.
I think I know that game, Tim. If I'm not mistaken, it may have been 8-0. If I'm thinking of the right game, Frank Tanana was pitching for the Angels, and they got to 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, and they're down 8-0, and they come back to tie it. And it goes into extra innings, and then they win. If I have to look that up on Baseball Reference to see if I'm right, but I think that's the game. And you never know. I mean, if you're down by more than 10 runs, the odds are 1 in a million that you're going to win. They're going to come back.
I think they should go. Possible. I think they should go the way of the NBA and basketball, like. If a home run clears the wall and doesn't quite get to the second level, it's worth 1 run. But if it hits the second level, it's worth 2 runs. And if you can put it up here, it's worth 3 runs.
Do you imagine? Or
2 times. So if the bases there's 2 runners on base and you hit the second level, that's actually a 6-run home run. There you go.
Hey, yeah, anything to give a losing team a chance, right?
That's what the 3-point shot did. It gave teams that didn't have the big guys underneath and those kind of guns a chance to at least cut the game, make it closer quickly.
Actually, I've never had a problem with the 3-point shot. I loved the ABA.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could talk to you about the ABA forever. I liked it even more than the NBA, at least in terms of watching the games. The 3-point shot was one of the reasons. I also love the ball, and I actually not long ago I found an ABA ball on eBay. Not an original one, but one that's being currently manufactured using a similar material. Oh, you got one too?
Oh no, I used to have a. Thought I put it here. I had some ABA basketball cards, and I thought I had one right here.
I my basketball set from 71.
Oh wow!
The tops that has ABA cards and NBA cards. Yeah. Anyway, I always loved it. I loved watching some of the little guys and some of the bigger ones. Rick Barry was a great 3-point shooter.
Oh sure. It was exciting games to watch the ABA. Very different from the NBA.
It was probably the most famous 3-point shooter in the ABA was Louis Dampier.
Yep.
On Kentucky.
I grew up probably watching that more than the NBA before it dissolved.
It was very hard. It was very hard to get ABA games on TV.
And early on, our TVs were black and white, so you couldn't even appreciate the red, white, and blue ball. You just saw different shades of gray.
Right. But, it was a lot of fun. And I was so glad when the NBA finally did adopt the 3-point rule.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing I don't like is that now, today's basketball, that's all they do.
Yeah.
All they do is shoot 3. That was not why they brought it in. It was not meant to replace driving down the lane or taking 15-footers. And for a long time it didn't. And then suddenly, I guess, and I haven't watched basketball regularly forever, but I'm assuming the analytics departments of some of these teams were saying, if you take 3-pointers all the time, it's going to work out better for you. And now every
Sure.
team does it, and
And
it's
of course,
freaking annoying.
And of course, now LeBron is coming to Philly, so
Oh, that's true.
that's got everybody going crazy around here.
How old is he? Like 55 or something?
Yeah, I think he's in his early 80s. Yes, he does play with a cane. They told him he shouldn't have a cane on the court, but you know,
LeBron Kane James. That's his new nickname.
And the big joke, you watch it online. It's funny though, but they said not only since LeBron's coming to Philly, the Lakers traded Bronny, his son, to Philly for a buy one get one free coupon to Chick-fil-A.
There you go.
Oh, anyhow.
Anyway,
All right. Have a great
all right.
night. Love to Rena.
Love to Chesanotti. Thank you all very much for sticking with us, and we'll see you next week with Scott Fairs from the Hollywood Stars.
Right here on
Welcome to Material Issues Live. It's Sunday, the fun day, and it's great to be alive. So hit subscribe, enjoy the vibe, right here on Material Issues. Welcome to Material Issues Live. It's Sunday, the fun day, and it's great to be alive.